What happened to Flameheart? Who is Flameheart? If you're a long time Sea of Thieves player, then this name will probably ring a bell. No, it doesn't? Okay, then what about this?
They order your annihilation.
How about now? Flameheart was not only a huge character in the Sea of Thieves storyline with tall tales built around defeating him, but in my opinion, he was also the face of one of the best ever world events in the Sea of Thieves. But for some of you newer players, you may have no idea who I'm talking about, so I'm about to tell you. The story of Flameheart is no easy story to tell, so I'm going to try my best to summarize it to give you a little bit of insight before we talk about his presence in the Sea of Thieves. Captain Flameheart was a character shown to us well before the initial Sea of Thieves release date. His statue had been a main feature at numerous conventions and events attended by Rare to promote Sea of Thieves, and was also featured in the E3 2016 cinematic trailer. Despite this, his in-game presence had only been referenced and hinted until his official introduction in the 2019 release of the Seabound Soul Tall Tale. This would be the first of a couple different Tall Tales that included Flameheart. In the Seabound Soul Tall Tale, Flameheart would bind his soul to his skull, preventing him from being trapped in the Sea of the Damned. Old Horatio and the crew of the Ashen Dragon would then recover his body and transport it to its final resting place. During this voyage, they came under attack from two pirate ships under the command of the treasure-seeking Martha Jane and Randon the Vandal Stone. Both ships were easily decimated by the infernal cannons of the fiery ship, and both Captain Stone and Martha Jane's souls were also cursed in the same manners as Flameheart's had been by Old Horatio. The Ashen Dragon made land at Flintlock Peninsula in the Devil's Roar, where Captain Flameheart was laid to rest. Nearly 10 years later, the Masked Stranger and Stitcher Jim would put into motion a plot to trick Duke and the Bildrats. A pirate crew and Sarafa Pendragon would also be unwittingly enlisted into this plot to free Captain Flameheart from his curse of Pendragon's Sword of Souls. This was believing that he was also a victim of the Ashen Dragon. To Pendragon's dismay, Flameheart's burning skull lit up in the sky as he promised to bring his vengeance upon the Sea of Thieves.
I have returned, and the fires of my vengeance shall consume you.
This brings us to the next Tall Tale called Heart of Fire, where after being released from his curse, Flameheart retreated to his lair, the Heart of Fire, located beneath the Devil's First. With the assistance of Stitcher Jim and a chest of rage containing the bound souls of the Black Wish crew, Flameheart pushed forth his plan to unleash the Ashen Lord and his flagship, the Burning Blade, upon the Sea of Thieves. Captain Pendragon and some brave pirates then ventured into the Heart of Fire to stop Flameheart, but the Skeleton Lord himself was unconcerned, confident of his plan for the return of his army. It was then that Stitcher Jim found himself fooled by his master, having his arm burned by the flames of the cursed chest, becoming a sacrifice to Flameheart, soon to become an Ashen Lord himself. Despite being too late to stop Flameheart's plans, Pendragon was able to retrieve Jim's chest of rage and use a Sword of Souls on it to rescue his crew. Coinciding with Flameheart's return, the construction which Wanda or the Masked Stranger had been overseeing while under the guise of assisting the Bildrats had come to completion. This became the home of the mysterious new company called the Reaper Bones, led by the Servant of the Flame, who stands for True Piracy, a school of thought following closely to that of Flameheart's. While the Skeleton Lord was never specifically mentioned for some years, the company's insignia depicts the cursed chalice associated with both Flameheart Senior and Junior. The company's decor also utilizes skeleton glyphs quite heavily. Furthering his plan, Flameheart unleashed an armada of ghost ships summoned from the Sea of the Damned, led by the Ashen Dragon and the Burning Blade. These ships haunted the shores across the Sea of Thieves, aiming to invoke fear into its inhabitants while he observed and taunted from above, and that he did. The official Flameheart World event was officially added around the fall of 2019. From completing the Flameheart World event and sinking the Burning Blade, there were many different cosmetics that were unlockable by completing various commendations, like these different sails. Upon completion of the world event, we were rewarded with Ghost Loot, which is still in the game to this day, just obtainable by doing different events. You would get various different skulls, chests, and merchant crates. Just completing this once would almost reach you to Reaper Emissary level 5, and the loot was worth quite a good amount of gold and reputation when sold to the Reaper's Bones as well. The downside of this world event is that it took a lot of skill to do, and to do it solo was quite a challenge, as well as any fights with enemy player ships would become messy as you could just board them, lower their anchor, and they could quickly be sunk by Flameheart's crew. Or when you didn't want to do this world event and you're just sailing past, Flameheart's crew would shoot you from crazy distances as well as screaming at you from grids away. All of this combined unfortunately led to the removal of the Flameheart world event, but luckily for us, there are Order of Souls quests that we can do that are somewhat similar to the Flameheart event, just with less loot, and less getting yelled at of course. But fortunately, we still have a chance to face the Burning Blade during these quests, still giving us a chance to complete our commendations. Although the Flameheart world event was removed, it doesn't mean he's gone forever. I personally hope to see a return of Flameheart sometime in what I hope is the near future. But what do you think? Do you think we should see Flameheart back? Do you think he should have been removed? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot.